Okay, so we can now move on to the wire, and maybe, just maybe, we'll be done with the main body in this video. Maybe. We'll see. Alright, so I'm gonna go on top of the screws folder, make a new folder, same thing as we've been doing. Name it base for now, and put it in a folder. And with this folder, I'm gonna call it wire. There we go. Right click, add a black mask. Right click, add a paint. I'm gonna press forward to go to my mesh selection tool. And I'm going to select this. Let's see, and this one. And I will also select this, which will select both of them because they are sharing the same UV. Alright. So for this base, I'm going to put it in a folder as well again. And I'm gonna call it wire. And I'm gonna right click, add a black mask, add a fill, add a paint. And I'm gonna select the wires. And then I'm gonna make a new fill layer, name it base again. Actually, no. Instead of that, I'm gonna go to the screws, and where is it? Screws right here. Let's see. Let me name this coaxial cable. I don't know how to say it, but I hope I'm saying it right. And I'm just gonna copy the folder for this thing right here. I'm just gonna copy, Command C, Control C, and Control V, paste it in here. And I'm just gonna overwrite the mask, add a black mask, add a paint, and with that paint, press 4. I guess we're already in it. And I'm just gonna click on this. Alright. Now all I have to do is, I really don't want to do anything too crazy on this, because like, look at this, it's super tiny, but I will make it a darker metal. Here we go. We don't need the whole, we don't need the height folder in this. Remember the height we did for this part? We don't need it for these, so I'm just gonna delete it. And for the dirt, it has this little red. It's because the connection with the anchor point is broken. So I'm just gonna go here, and as you can see here, it's broken. I'm just gonna exit out because we don't need it anymore. And for the base color, I'm gonna make it a slightly darker metal, maybe something like this, and a bit rougher as well. Let's see, my reference is let's see. Why can't I find them all suddenly? Alright, here we go. Yeah, they're definitely rougher. So I'm gonna do maybe something like 0.5. Should we make them gold? I feel like gold would look nice. Let's try gold. Let me go to my all libraries. I'm gonna go to my base materials right here. Give him a brass color. Something like this. And give it a rougher look. 0.5 again. Yeah, that brings out a little bit more interest to them. And I'm gonna make it a bit of a darker yellow. Something like this. Yep. Like so. I believe is fine. Maybe a bit. Let's see. Should it be rougher? No, I think this is fine. Maybe a bit brighter yellow. Maybe something like this. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I don't know if the I don't know if it makes much sense. I don't know if there is some kind of technical reason why the screws and everything is the same color. But for my liking, I think it brings a nice little contrast, which to me is W. It's art. Alright, so for the wires, again, it's not going to be anything too crazy. Let me find my reference for it. Here it is. We're gonna start with the base color. I drop it from this, maybe something like so. There we go. Let's see if we can make it maybe a bit darker. All right, that's good. We don't need height, we don't need metal, we don't need normal. We just need to maybe make it a bit rougher. Yeah, I think a 0.4 or 0.45. Let's try 0.45. That seems a bit too rough. 0.4. It's certainly rougher towards here more. Or maybe it's the highlight, the white underneath, that's making it look less rough. So I'm gonna keep it 0.43. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it like this. And maybe give it a bit of metallic, because I can't tell if this is a slightly plastic-like type of thing, type of cable, or is it like pure rubber. So I'm gonna give it a 0.1 metal and see if that does anything. That certainly adds to the look, I think. So with metal, without metal, it really doesn't matter. I'm gonna keep it with metal just because. All right, okay, so this is fine. I'm gonna give it a color variation. Maybe we'll do a slightly darker color of this. Maybe some kind of brown. Yeah, maybe something like this. Or maybe multiply. That's too much. I'm gonna lower the opacity. Yep, that's definitely brown. Okay, I'm gonna right click, add a black mask, right click, add a fill. Let's see, go to my fill. Again, I don't know why I have so many of these, but I am going to find something. Let me type procedural. There we go. Sand? No. I want something with maybe high contrast. This could work. This has some contrast. Let's see this one. Yeah, I think I'll go with this. Alright. So put it on triplanar just because it's too tiny to even see the seam, but for good habit. I'm gonna tile it maybe by 3. Yeah, 3 seems fine. Yeah, and I'm gonna put the contrast a little bit higher just so I can see the difference. Before, after. Here we go. Yeah. And for the base, maybe I'll make it a bit brighter so I can really see the difference. Something like this. Yeah. Alright, so before, after. Yeah, I think maybe here not as much, but we can take care of that. Tiling amount, let's see. Yeah, maybe this is fine. Maybe lower the opacity a bit. Actually, I'm gonna keep this 100, and I'm gonna lower the opacity of the mask itself, of the grunge itself. Maybe something like this. All right. And as you can see, on here, there's less white here. I mean, there's less brown here as compared to this one. We can also create that effect, maybe with a different color variation, or we just paint it out. So we'll see. Maybe I want to add a little bit of greenish, dark green, maybe some like this. I'm probably reaching, but this definitely looks green to me. And whether or not it's an actual thing, it should look pretty good. So I'm gonna, let's see, make a new fill layer. Actually, I'm just gonna duplicate the one below, Control D, and call it color variation 2. I'm gonna overwrite the black mask and add a paint. Actually, I'm gonna add a fill. We don't need the paint yet. And as for the color, I'm gonna eyedrop it from this green right here. This, let's see if I can do this one. Yeah, I think I like this one better. And instead of multiply, maybe I'll keep it on normal. Yep. And then let's see, the fill. We can do maybe another one of this. Let's do a lower balance because we want just a few. Higher contrast, maybe something like this. Here we go. Now we have some green going on. Let me see if I put it on linear dodge. No, it's not right. Yeah, maybe if I lower the grunge amount for this one. Alright. And now all I'm gonna do is right click on the brown on the first color variation, add a paint. And for that paint, let's see, I'm gonna use maybe a dirt brush. Dirt 1 with a low flow and maybe the opacity is fine. And I'm just gonna paint out with black. Maybe that's not working. Let's see. It is, but what I think is happening is the color, this color is getting mixed with the AO. I feel like, let's see if there is AO there. Ambient occlusion. Yeah, there's some AO here. That's why you can't really see the difference. So what I'm gonna do, instead of having the paint, let's see if I can just duplicate the base, Command D, and I'm gonna name it white painted, and put it all the way up, add a black mask, add a paint, and I'm gonna paint here, and then let's see, let me make the color maybe a bit wider, something like this. Yeah. Alright, roughness, keep it 0.5 in the middle. Alright, something like this. Maybe these get super scrunched up against the edges of this hole. Alright, and then I'm just gonna lower the opacity a bit. Let's see. Yep. Let me look at my reference. Like I was saying, maybe only one has the white effect. Here we go. And then for this, here we go. Maybe I'll give it a bit more opacity, something like this. Or maybe even it's on a linear dodge type of effect or overlay, maybe. No, maybe soft light. No, not working. Alright, I'll keep it on normal and lower its opacity like this. Yeah, and I don't really like the transition from this pure black to pure white. So I'm gonna go to my cement brush. I'm gonna lower the angle jitter, position jitter, size jitter, and then I'm gonna paint with black a bit. Let's see. There you go, that's a better transition. There we go, something like this. Yeah, that gives it a bit of an interesting look. Maybe we can add some here as well. Actually, I'm gonna make a new paint layer like this and put it on linear dodge and paint down right here like so. Again, paint in, paint out. If there's one thing you learn from this, is paint in, paint out. When you're painting, X is your best friend. There you go. Maybe paint this back in a bit. Alright, and I'm gonna make this a bit rougher. Maybe 0.55. Let's look at the roughness channel. It's not doing anything. Why is it not doing anything? Here we go. Something like this. 0.8, 0.7. Alright. Yeah, that looks good. I think for the connector, I forgot to name it. Connector. I think something is not right. The dirt is cool, but there should also be some maybe black spots. Let's try it. Make a new fill layer above the color, the second color variation, and I'm gonna name it black spots. Let's try that. And put it in color. And maybe roughness as well. Roughness will be a lot higher. Something like this. Add a black mask, add a fill. And I'm just gonna type in the procedure, I'm just gonna type spots. Let's see if we find anything interesting. Maybe this. Spots 2. Alright. Put it on triplanar and I'm gonna higher the contrast up a bit. Something like this. Balance should, I guess, stay fine like the way it is. I'm gonna keep it like that for now. And for the base color, I'm gonna put it on multiply. There we go. So before and after, I like that. Alright. And let's scale it up a bit. Yeah. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Let's see, what am I thinking of? Let me look at the base color. by itself. Random. Here's a randomizer. I like how a lot it is on this, in the corners like this. All right, that's cool. And let's lower the opacity a bit, something like so. Maybe like so. All right. Yeah, we can go test that in Marmoset. I think for now this one is fine. What I want to do is go to whatever this part is. This part. I want to fix it a bit. So I think it's in the main case layer folder. Hopefully. Because that's where the dirt would be, right? Yep. Alright, and the dirt, black spot, blah 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 blah. Let's see. Crayon, scratches, tape, edge highlight, back case. It's not the plates. Here you go. This one. But that's only the color. We need the dirt. I think it's this one. Yeah, it's definitely this one. So what I'm gonna do, in the paint layer, I'm just gonna paint with black a bit. Like this. And it should be getting rid of everything that's there. Please update. Yep. Yeah, that's the good stuff. All right. I'm just gonna paint with a really low flow. That's the advantage of naming your layers and paying attention to where they're at, naming them properly with a name that makes sense to what the object is. Let me find the dirt brush. This one should be easier. There we go. That's the stuff. Yeah, even here we don't need all that. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, because you can always go back and fix it. Yeah, that's definitely better, because now we have the roughness, all that stuff. And if I go to back to this thing right here, let's see, color variation. Maybe I bump up the color variation just a bit, something like this. 85. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, now I'm just gonna export the textures and see how it looks. Where is Marmoset? Please load. All right. I do not yet know how I feel about maybe all of these should be gold or brass or whatever you'd like to call it. Maybe they're too rough. I think that's what it is. It's too rough. Yeah. Yeah, it's too rough. I'm gonna lower the opacity and it should look better. Not the opacity, the roughness. I'm gonna lower. Wire, connectors, in the dirt. Where is it? Black spots. Yeah. In the roughness for it. The roughness channel, I'm gonna lower that from 100, let's see, 20. Let's see how that looks. Maybe also lower the contrast. No, not lower. Maybe the balance is a little bit too much. Maybe something like this. Roughness. Maybe also the base needs to go down a bit, maybe 0.4. There we go. All right, and the dirt, maybe now we can put it, the roughness variation, maybe now we can, no, that's not it. The black spot is what I mean. Maybe now we can put it higher a bit. 50. Okay, now we can export. Let's try that. All right. Yeah, not bad. We obviously need some dirt and stuff in here because this looks pretty clean. But yeah, I think for what this is, I think it's passable. Right? Maybe we'll make the color variation a little bit darker on this. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. And the dirt right here is really bugging me, so let's fix that. Let me go look at the color. Yeah, the color is almost not there. Let's look at the base color. Please load.